What's good, NBA family? Today's Monday, June 10th, and we just witnessed Game 2 of the NBA Finals. And I want to get on here, y'all, and give you guys an honest and real reaction to the first two games of the NBA Finals. We've seen the Celtics take Game 1 and Game 2. So in this video, what we're going to do is get into the game, talk about how the Celtics won, who came up big for the Celtics, who came up short for the Mavericks, and we'll get into a little bit of film breakdown for both games. So as always, man, make sure you subscribe to join the family. If you are new, it's good to see you around here, man. If you're a returner, it's good to see you back. But let's go ahead and get into it, man. Let's not waste any time. Let's talk about Game 1, y'all. Game 1 where the Celtics won 107-98 and really beat that the whole way through, man. I mean, let's talk about it, y'all. Al Horford, he actually got to start over Kristaps Porzingis in this game, which I was surprised. I thought that Kristaps was going to start, but then, a couple of minutes before tip-off, we got the notification that Kristaps would be coming off the bench. Probably more of just a good, injury management type move from Joe Mazzulla. But then from there on forth, I think the Celtics just found out a new strategy, a new gem, which is bring Kristaps off the bench. Because this game, y'all, was fairly back and forth in the first quarter until about the last 6 minutes of that first quarter, y'all. Once Kristaps checked in, which was around the 6-minute mark in that first quarter, the Celtics went on a 23-5 run to take a 17-point lead, y'all. That's right, a 23-5 run. And this run was all ignited by Kristaps Porzingis and the Celtics' elite defense, man. Kristaps created so many breakaways for the Celtics on the other end just by being in great rim protection. But let's not even just talk about that, man. Let's talk about the fact of when Kristaps Porzingis checked in, there was 6 minutes and 38 seconds left in the game clock. Score was 15-14 Dallas Mavericks. The Celtics go on for the rest of that first quarter on a 23-5 run, y'all. Kristaps Porzingis absolutely changed everything for them, y'all. He finished that first quarter with 11 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 blocks. He was everywhere. The Celtics as a team just could not miss from 3. They hit 7 3-pointers just in that first quarter. That's as many as the Mavericks hit the entire Game 1. So that will show you right there a little bit of what this game was like. And when there was 4 minutes left in the second quarter, the Celtics had a 29-point lead, and it wasn't really just threes in this run, though, y'all. It wasn't like the Celtics just got super hot from the three-point line, which they did get hot. But I don't want to just, discredit and take away all the credit away from their defense, because they held the high offensive firepower Dallas Mavericks to just 42 points at half, y'all. They held them to 42 points at half, so it's not like they were just running off a whole bunch of threes, which they were doing, but their defense were also there. They were locked in on both ends, y'all. I mean, look at these two plays right here by Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown, great help side. Seeing man and ball, deflects the lob from Luka to Derrick Jones. Ball swings around, goes right back to Derrick Jones. Jaylen Brown there once again. Jaylen Brown just in that third quarter had 3 blocks just off being in the right place at the right time, just by being at help side at the right time. And these are things that, you don't just stumble upon. Like, these are court mapping and court placements that players master, but also coaches master. Like, coaches and Joe Mazzulla and the scheme that they got going on the defensive end is just absolute a masterpiece, man. I mean, there was a little moment in that second quarter, y'all, when Luka actually ran off a little bit of a run to bring this game within 8, but then the Celtics turned their defense up again, turned their three-point shooting up again, and brought this right back up to 20. I mean, the Celtics defense was just so elite this game, y'all. They held the Mavericks to just 89 points in 94 possessions. This was the first time that the Mavericks have been held to under a point per possession all playoffs long so far, y'all. Y'all understand how elite defense that is, right? The Mavericks, they average a league high 4.6 corner three-pointers per game. But in Game 1, they were held to just 1 corner three-pointer, which was by Jaden Hardy at the end of the game. They were 1 of 3 from the corner three-pointers in that Game 1. Again, just showing you how elite the Celtics defense were in this game. The Celtics defense, from the beginning, they made it a point of emphasis that they are not going to allow those lobs that Luka and Kyrie like to throw. They are not going to allow Daniel Gafford and Derek Lively to get in the game. They're not even going to give him a chance to be able to get that roll option. Why? Because of players like Kristaps Porzingis, players like Al Horford. Why? Because of the help side in Jaylen Brown, because of the help side in Derek White. Everybody on the Celtics is doing the right thing, man. I talked about this in the preview. They can switch 1 through 5, and their bigs in Al Horford or Kristaps or whoever you want to go with out there, even Jason Tatum sometimes, he runs that 4 when they put Kristaps at the 5. Their bigs, they're all serviceable, so they can switch 1 through 5. They're not worried about having a player out on an island. We definitely did see that Luka Doncic was loving that Al Horford matchup, but even Al Horford got 1 block on Luka on the perimeter. So, man, I'm telling you, this Celtics defense was just absolutely the game changer in both games 1 and 2. But while we're talking about game 1, we got to talk about the fact that they held them to their lowest all playoff long so far of corner 3-pointers. They did not allow the lobs. They held them to just 89 points per 94 possessions. Man, I mean, it was just beautiful defense, to be honest with you guys. And on the other end, of the offensive end, they had a balanced scoring effort. Jaylen Brown had 22 points. Jason Tatum had 16 points. Kristaps Porzingis had 20 points off the bench. Al Horford had 10. Derek White had 15. Jrue Holiday had 12. All starters scored in double digits, and you got Kristaps off the bench with 20. And after game 1, y'all, you know how I felt. I told y'all so, man. I told y'all, man. I told you guys this 5 months ago. I made a video on this 5 months ago telling you guys why the Celtics are my championship favorites. And that's because with Kristaps Porzingis, man, this Celtics team is just absolutely unbeatable in the 7-game series. And in this game 1, the Kristaps Porzingis effect was in full display. If he had smaller players on him on that nail, right, at that free throw line extended, what would he do? Just shooting right over them if they're smaller. If they are bigger, what is he doing? He's stretching out to that 3-point line, forcing the defenders, forcing the bigs to have to come out because he can knock down that 3-pointer, as we've seen in this series so far. And then what does that do? That opens up the defense for players like Jason Tatum, players like Jaylen Brown, players like Derek White, players like Jrue Holiday to just blow by their primary defender. And the help isn't there because you know where the help is? They're making sure that Kristaps Porzingis doesn't hit another 3-pointer, man. And then for the Mavericks, some things that I did notice in this game, man, was the fact that, they did have one of their worst offensive performance all playoff long so far. But, again, I don't want to just discredit the Celtics defense by doing that, man, because the Celtics defense were able to take away the lobs. Celtics defense were able to make it tough on Kyrie. The Celtics defense were able to take Derek Lively out of his game by getting him into foul trouble. For the Mavericks, like I said, I did mention that Al Horford, he was the one getting exploited, so I'll be interested to see how that looks like for the rest of the series. Now let's move on to Game 2, y'all. Game 2, the Celtics also won. They won 105-98, and if the Mavericks were going to steal any game, y'all, it would have and should have been this game, y'all. The Celtics shoot terribly. They go 10 of 39 from the 3-point line for, I believe, like 25% from the 3-point line, and the fact that the Celtics struggled from the 3-point line, led all game, and still won shows me that, to be honest with you guys, this series is over. The Celtics, I had them winning the series no matter what, but the Celtics were able to beat the Dallas Mavericks without having to throw their best punch. In Game 2, they went 10 of 39 from the 3-point line. They shot terribly, and they still won the game. They beat the Mavericks without having to throw their best punch, without having to have their best player step up. And they still won. That's what tells me this series is over, man. But let's talk about the game, y'all. First quarter, Luka and Kyrie, they came out very aggressive. They scored 21 of the Dallas Mavericks' 28 points in that first quarter. Considering the fact that Kyrie had 12 points in Game 1, I expected that. First half was pretty back and forth. The Celtics went into halftime up by 3. And then it wasn't until the third quarter where the Celtics went on a 10-0 run to break this game open. And then they led for most of that second half. And it wasn't until last couple of minutes, I believe like 2 minutes and 30 seconds left in the game. The Mavericks go on a 9-0 run, and then this happens.
Eric Jones with the rejection. Here's Irving. Washington drives, blocked by White. Oh, what a block from Derek White.
Score was 98-103. I don't know if you want to say Derek White got it. I don't know if you want to say Jrue Holiday got it. They got the block on P.J. Washington, prevented it from turning into a three-point game, and then Jaylen Brown goes ahead and gets a big-time bucket on the other end, making it 98-105. And guess what, Mavericks fans? Even if P.J. Washington hit that layup, even if he was fouled and went to the free throw line, guess what, y'all? Still would have been down by a three-pointer. Stop crying about it, Mavericks fans. Celtics go up 2-0, man. And before we get into the film breakdown of this, I do want to give some credit for the entire Celtics team for just showing up, man. I mean, look, Jaylen Brown, once again, 21 points. Jason Tatum, 18 points. Derek White, 18 points. Jrue Holiday, MVP of this game, 26 points. Kristaps Porzingis, 12 points. And I mean, I want to talk a little bit about Jrue Holiday, y'all, because he was the calming presence. He was the vet on this team, y'all. Has a championship. He has experience. So he brings that calming presence. He brings awareness. When the Celtics were just struggling all night from the three-point line, again, they finished 10 of 39 from the three-point line as a team. Jrue Holiday, he recognized that and went in the paint. He finished his game 9 of 9 from the field in the paint. I want to real quick put up Jrue Holiday's shot chart right here, y'all. He had 14 total shots. Only 4 of those shots were outside of the restricted area. That means 10 shots were inside the restricted area. He was getting to it because he recognized, hey, we're not hitting from 3. I'm not going to force that. I'm going to go inside. And guess what? He started a trend by doing that because the rest of the game, the Celtics start to pick that up, and then the Celtics end this game shooting 71% from the field at the rim. The Celtics shooting 71% at the rim, man. Come on, man. They are recognizing. And it's crazy, y'all, because the people laugh at the Celtics late game execution. But what you guys are failing to realize is that the Celtics, they don't need to be in late game situations. They putting people out quarters 1 through 3, man. Because the first 2 games, they've been honestly in control of the game, in control of the pace, in control of the series. And then as far as the Mavericks, what they need to do, man, Kyrie's got to be better. Kyrie's got to be better. The Celtics only got 1 player on him. They're not doubling him. They're not sending boxing ones. They're not sending traps. They're not doing nothing. And in the first 2 games, Kyrie has scored under 20 both times. 12 points game 1, 16 points game 2. Luka Doncic has been amazing, man. Amazing, man. I believe he had like a triple-double game 2. Game 1, he had a double-double. He's been doing his thing, especially for a finals debut. But this is why they brought you in, Kyrie. So that you can help Luka Doncic, so you can be that guy next to him and get him over that hump. Kyrie, man, you are disappearing in a very, very, very big moment, man. But these are some other things that I do want to touch on, though, y'all, before we get up out of here. Some film breakdown things. So I want to start with Jason Tatum because his ability to have awareness of when he doesn't have it going offensively and being able to do other things has really impressed me. Right here, he blows by initial defender, finds Derek White open in the corner, Derek White gets a bucket, all off Jason Tatum's penetration and the defense crashing. I feel like in the past, we've always seen Jason Tatum get a little bit of tunnel vision when he's struggling offensively, but in both games, he was really able to still contribute to this team's winning by doing other things besides scoring. For example, right here on this clip, he gets the matchup he wants with Kyrie. He understands the gravity that the defense has to come help. Jaylen Brown goes backside. Jason Tatum throws a great pass. Free bucket right there. And he did this in both games. Game 1, he finishes 16 points, 11 rebounds. Game 2, he already has 10 assists before the fourth quarter even comes. Finishes the night 18 points, 12 assists, 9 rebounds. I'm sure Jason Tatum wants to have it going offensively, but he's not going to do it at the expense of his team losing. He wants to win, and that's the maturity I see in him. Now, another key for the Celtics is Kristaps Porzingis. I talked about this in my preview video I dropped, saying he'd be an X factor. Look at this block right here he gets on Daniel Gafford. Not only stopping the bucket, but also starting the transition on the other end. Without this block, transition doesn't get going. Or on the other end, KP, he gets the matchup he wants with Kyrie, faces up, gives him a bump, shoots right over him. Simply too small. Great offensive possession. And then when he has the big on him, Derek Lively is forced to play up on him because he can shoot. Kristaps puts the ball on the ground, blows right by him, gets an easy dunk at the hoop. But if you want to know when the Celtics are at their best, this clip right here defines it all. When the Celtics get into the swing motion, they are unguardable. That's why I have the Celtics winning the series. Not only are they the better team and can guard 1 through 5, as I've stated, but when they get into the swing motion, they're untouchable. And with the Dallas Mavericks always having to have either Luka or Kyrie out there, it always creates a mismatch for Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown to hunt. When they blow past Luka or they blow past Kyrie, the defense has to come from the help side. The defense has to crash, and then that's when Tatum and Jaylen Brown get into their swing offense, just swinging the ball. And now the Celtics players like Jrue Holiday and Derek White and Kristaps Porzingis and Al Horford, they're playing against closing out defenders, and that's much easier than playing up against straight-up defenders, man.
Holiday, Tatum, wide open three-pointer. It's good. Timeout, Mavericks.
There you have it, though, y'all. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Wanted to get into, real raw reaction to the first 2 games. Happy that the Celtics are winning, to be honest with you. I know I'm a Lakers fan. I know it might sound crazy coming from a Lakers fan, but I told you guys this would happen. I told you guys that the best defensive backcourt in the league, the ability to switch 1 through 5, the Celtics with just Kristaps Porzingis out there, it's just unbeatable, man. And like I've been saying, Celtics in 6. But hope you guys are enjoying this video. Hope you guys enjoyed this breakdown, my recap, my thoughts. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think. And for now, I'll see y'all. Deuces.